Hello, welcome back to another chapter review. And this time we're going over One Piece Chapter 4, Axon Morgan. The first page basically immediately just gets right into it, where we immediately just looking down like the civilians being like, this is bad, who is he? He dared to hit the captain's son. Captain Morgan will forgive him. And then Kobe's still holding back Luffy's hand. Calm yourself, they are Marines. And Luffy's like, I don't care, a bastard's still a bastard. And Helmut was just yelling, he's like, you dare to hit me. My dad hasn't even hit me once. And he kind of yells out, I am Marine Captain Morgan's son. I will tell him about this." And all the people just seem like kind of scared, except for Luffy's like, "Why don't you fight me yourself?" And Kobe's still holding back Luffy, saying, "Don't do this." And then Helmet was getting carried away by like the two Marine like people that are by him. And Helmet says, "You'll regret hitting me. You'll get a death sentence for this." And in the next battle, Helmet said, "And my dad will be the one who will execute you, bastard." And Luffy just says it's meaningless to hit people like him. And Kobe just kind of turns and knows like they're running away. And then the girl comes up and saying, "Oni-chan, you're so cool. Just then I was scared to death." And Luffy's like, "Really? I should have hit him a couple more times." And then we find out from like a woman kind of appears that she says, "Rika, come here," and which turns out to be the little girl who gave her the rice balls. And this is her mother. The mom says, "Don't talk to strangers. You'll be executed too if you're mistaken as one of their friends." And then Rika is saying, "Mom, he's a good person. So is Zoro." And then her mom says, "Don't be silly. Did you sneak into the execution site again?" And Rika's like, "No, I didn't." And she basically tells her, "Come back to the house quickly." And then it just shows like this cute little panel of like Luffy just standing up there, kind of like looking like a little like statue, and he's just like waving his hand. Look pretty wholesome. And then he just kind of going bye bye. And then he walks away saying, "We'll deal with it when the time comes. I'm gonna go talk to Zoro." And Kobe's still freaking out, saying, "If the captain gets mad, he might send Marines after us. Looks like we're gonna be in a lot of trouble." And Kobe's just like, "Are you kidding me?" And then it cuts into the Marine base main building, where we see a guy like puffing out like from like a cigar. And then the figure's looking out the window saying, "I am great." And then a Marine said, "Yes, because you are the captain, Captain Morgan." And, Morgan seems to say, "But lately the offering seems to be decreasing." And then the Marine says, "Ah, that's about the money for the offering. The citizens have their financial problems too." Then Captain Morgan kind of looks to the side and kind of says, "It's not a matter of financial problems. It's because they don't respect me." And then Mabel kind of like barges into a room. He says, "Dad," revealing that yeah, this is confirming this is Captain Morgan. And he says, "What's the matter, Hamapo?" And then Hamapo holding up like a towel kind of to the side of his head, he just kind of goes, "It's like I want you to kill someone for me." And then he cuts to kind of to the execution side post. And Luke walks up and he just nonchalantly just says, "Yo." And Zoro's like, "It's you again? I told you I don't want to be a pirate." And then Luffy just kind of walks up, still with a big ass smile on his face, and he says, "I'm Luffy. If I loosen up the ropes, then you'll join me. Then you're gonna join me, okay?" And Zoro's like, "I told you clearly." He's like, and Zoro's like, "I have things I need to do. Besides, I'm not gonna be a bad guy like a pirate." And then Luffy's like, "Why do you care? Everyone already thinks you're a bad guy." And Zoro just says, "I don't care what they say about me. I haven't done one thing that I've regretted in the past, and it'll be the same for the future." And he's like, "I won't be a pirate." Luffy kind of thinks. And he just says, and Luffy kind of sits there and he goes, "I don't care. You're going to join me." And Zoro's like, "You don't decide for yourself." And then Luffy kind of goes back and says, "Hey, I heard that you use katanas. Is that right?" And then Zoro kind of like explains some more questions. He's like, "If I'm not being tied up, I could use a katana." And Luffy kind of says, "Where is the katana?" Zoro kind of says, "That bastard kid took it. It's something that I cherish the most other than my life." And Luffy's like, "Oh, treasure. Huh. It must be something great." And Luffy kind of sits there and says, "Okay, I'm going to go to where the bastard kid is and get your katana back." And Zoro's like, "What?" And Luffy kind of sits there and kind of chuckles. He says, "But if you want me to return to you, you'll have to join me." And Zoro's like, "That's 30." And then Luffy kind of like runs away saying, "Okay, I'm going." Because he's basically now going to be like, Zoro, this is not an offer you cannot refuse. He's like, I'm gonna make you join me. And then Luffy just kind of run away, just kind of like, it's like a little funny panel where you just kind of like run away. It kind of reminds me of like when a kid like takes away something from you and they just do that little scurry. It's kind of what it reminds me of. And then Zoro kind of yells, "Oh wait!" And Zoro's saying, "Is he planning on sneaking into the base? What a fool!" As like Luffy kind of gets out of earshot. And then it cuts to kind of like the top of the marine base where you see a big statue that's getting like yanked up, and kind of saying, "Okay, stop, lift the statue." And then Momoka goes from saying, "Dad, that kid hit me. Why won't you help me take revenge? Even you haven't hit me before." And then Captain Morgan says, "Do you know why I never hit you?" And then he's just like, "Yes, because I'm your." And Captain Morgan interrupts saying, "Yes, because you are a bastard son that's not worth hitting." And then he just decks him, just absolutely just hits him. And then Helmut kind of goes, "All right." And then we get a full reveal of like Captain Morgan in this panel. He says, "Why do I have to clean up your mess? You can do a lot of things in my name, but I only punish those who oppose me." And then you kind of get a big shot of like Captain Morgan, giant of a man, has an iron like jaw, like his bottom jaw is like plated up with steel. His entire like right arm is converted to an axe to the point where you see like the wood for like the bottom of the axe is like sticking out of his elbow. So it was like a fully merged into it. And then you kind of see the title card saying Marine Captain Axe Arm Morgan or Axe Hand Morgan in the anime. And then he and then like you kind of see like the size, kind of like the size difference of him because he just kind of bends down, kind of like grabs, goes like looks directly into like Amoba's eyes, and he just says, "Don't don't misunderstand. You are not the great one here. It's your father, me." And he says, and then Ken Moore kind of turns back and says, "Rumor says a little mouse sneaking to the execution site. Is it true?" And then Hemo was like, oh, you mean that little girl? I've already." And Ken Morgan's flash says, "You killed her, right?" And then Hemo kind of backs up saying, "Huh, no, she's still a little girl. She didn't even realize her mistake." And then Captain Morgan just straight up just like points at one of them, just says, "Okay, why the fuck did my slideshow stop?" Okay, there we go. And then like Captain Morgan kind of like points at one of the guys. And just kind of says, "Hey, you go into town and kill her." And the Marine's like, "What?" He's like, "I don't care how old she is. Whoever opposed me will die." And then the Marine is just like, "But Captain, she's just a little girl. I couldn't do that to her." And then Captain Morgan says, "Couldn't do it, huh? You're a Marine captain, right?" And the rank of lieutenant junior grade is lower than the rank of captain, isn't it? And he's like, "Yeah, yes, sir." He says, "In that case, you have no right to go against my order. If I order you to go, then you'll go." And then the Marine just kind of sits there and says, "I can't." And then Accent Morgan brings down an axe and just yells, "You traitor," as he just slices into Marine, killing him. And Mabo kind of sits back in stock saying, "You didn't have to do that." And everyone's like, "Captain." And Accent Morgan with his axe in his hand says, Never mind, for the sake of reminding the citizens, I'll go there myself." He said, with this arm, I rose to the rank of captain. Rank is the most important thing in the world. I am the highest ranking officer in this base, which means I'm the greatest one here." And he yells, "Great men don't make mistakes. Do you all agree?" And everyone just in pure cheer just goes, "Yes, sir. Yes, you are absolutely correct, Captain." And then they're started yanking up like the statue, and he yells, "Look, this is a symbol of my power. A statue that has been finished today after years of work. Now stand up my gray statue at the highest point of this base." And then it kind of cuts down to like the bottom of the base where Luffy kind of looks at him and he says, "That's strange. There ain't any Marines around. Are they having a meeting?" And he's like, "Never mind the katana. I can't even find that idiot's son like this." And then it kind of comes back to them being like, "Paul, Paul." And then you kind of see like a little like gotcha or kind of like that's so they kind of like hitting something. and then you hear ah, and then like your Captain Morgan kind of goes, "Hey, hold on a second! Just now, you damaged my statue." And he's like, "Sorry, Captain, I was being careless." And then they're having a commotion, and then Luffy kind of looks up and says, "Huh, there seems to be people up there." And then Luffy kind of like pulls back his arm and he says, "Let's go up and see." And he just extends it all the way up, and then catches like the bottom of the thing. So he kind of shows like exactly how far Luffy can stretch. And he goes go go no rocket and just fires himself off the ground to go into it. And then Captain Morgan kind of looks and says, "Do you know how long I've been looking forward to Kalisha on the statue, and you went ahead and damaged it?" He's like, "I'm sorry, I'll go fix it right away." And then Morgan kind of says, "This statue represents me. Damaging means that you don't respect me." And he's like, "You got it." And he kind of goes, "What?" You hear like a what in the background as Luffy just flings. And Luffy's like, "Oh no, I'm going too fast." And then the Marines kind of notice him saying, "What is that? Something's flying up from down here." And then Luffy kind of grabs onto like all the ropes that hold up the statue, and everyone kind of goes as they get yanked. And then the statue falls and it breaks in half. And then just an entire page where everyone looks shocked. Morgan looks like he's about to cry. Everyone's shocked. Helmeppo was just pointing at the guy, pointing in the direction of it, being like, "What is this?" Luffy's just shocked, and then the statue is just falling all the way down. Luffy just sits there and just like, "Sorry," and the statue like completely shatters. And then Morgan just screams, "Capture him! I'm gonna kill him!" And they're all like, "Yes, sir!" And Helmeppo's like, "That is him. He's the one who hit me. I told you he's no good." And then Luffy just kind of just like sneaks in and just grabs him. He says, "I've been looking for you." And he's like, "Wow, let me go, Dad, help me." And then Luffy just kind of like runs into the staircase and he said, "They headed into the main building after them." And then one of the Marines kind of looks over the edge and says, "Captain, someone's at the execution site." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "Another traitor. Have them all killed." And then it's Kobe. It kind of reveals it's Kobe. And Kobe looks up and says, "What? Luffy's inside the base? He's too hot headed." And he's like, "Yeah, you're right. Who is he?" And he just says, and then Kobe kind of goes up and starts like messing with the ropes. And he's like, "Oi, if you help me, they're gonna kill you." And then Kobe kind of says, "You shouldn't be arrested. I can't stand those kind of Marines." He's like, And then Kobe kind of yells, "I'm gonna become a real Marine, just like the way Luffy is turned to become the Pirate King." And Zoro kind of is in shock, saying, "What, Pirate King? You're joking, right?" Kobe says, I was a bit shocked when I first heard him, but he's serious." And then all of a sudden, you just see Kobe got shot. And then from the distance, you just see Axe and Morgan kind of like looking down, like sternly, as the shot. And then you just kind of see Zoro just looking back like menacingly, just like mean stare. And then the last scene in the panel, last scene in the chapter actually is Luffy running, and Luffy running. He's going, "Where's Zoro Katana?" And then the Marines in the background saying, "They're over there. Stop! Where you are?" And Albaba's just screaming, I'll tell. Just stop dragging me." And yeah, that's the chapter. Yeah, but basically, yeah, this chapter was mainly just like introduction to like the villain of this like little marine base arc. Which again, in this anime, all of it was just covered within like one episode. So the fact that they broke it down to multiple chapters, I still kind of enjoy it because we get to see like more of like in depth and kind of like tell even with the thing. And yeah, it's like there's again, as I said, there's a couple like differences within like their approach to this, which I kind of enjoy. But yeah, overall, it's a pretty good chapter. And yeah, and as I said before, make sure to like and subscribe. Check out my TikTok in the description where I'll post random topics about like different animes and fiction. And the TikTok is called AP Beans 2. Make sure to, as I said, like and subscribe. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Later, everyone.